What is it like to be coached by Mike Tomlin and hear maybe in the community that fans don't want Mike Tomlin to be the coach anymore?
Oh, crazy enough, on social media, one of my favorite people in Pittsburgh, she does security, and she's always done security there. Her name's Chrissy.
Shout out Chrissy.
Yeah, Chrissy's always done security there, and she has cerebral palsy, I believe, and she's like one of my best friends at camp. Just awesome young lady. And she messaged me, and she was like, I miss the old days, the days when you would stay out and sign autographs for people until they left, and you don't have that connection anymore. And she asked me, she's like, I wonder, do the fans or the fans screaming in that manner for Coach Tomlin to be fired, do you have to listen to him? And my answer to that was unequivocally, no, you don't. Like, fans are important to the game. We play the game and for their enjoyment, and we love to share in winning with them. But fans are called fans because they're fanatics. People who know football know that you shouldn't be calling for Mike Tomlin's job. Now, I also understand from the standpoint of team building where you have to be in the decision-making process with Mike Tomlin, because for the last 10 years you've been in Super Bowl purgatory. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are never supposed to be in Super Bowl purgatory. The Pittsburgh Steelers are supposed to be competing for championships, and this team can't, and this team won't. So where do you go from here when you've invested in your defense that much? And I said this a year ago, and I was called by someone in the organization that said the reasonings I had about what's going on in the locker room were fair, but they disagreed with the point. I felt like Mike Tomlin should have a conversation about have his Andy Reid second run somewhere else. To be able to say, hey, look, I feel like what we've done here has been special. I'm forever indebted to this organization. Where we are right now, when we talk about the standard being the standard, isn't the standard for either of us, and maybe a new voice is needed. Maybe you need to be able to be as bad as you could possibly be to rebuild, or maybe there's another voice that could get you over the hump, because right now it doesn't seem that his style of coaching, his way of coaching, and his voice is the one to get you to another championship, and you may have to part ways in that way. But I've said it before, I'll say it again here on Rich Eisen Show. I believe that Mike Tomlin is unfireable in Pittsburgh. That doesn't mean he should be there forever.
So let me follow up by asking you this, because you know him better than I would. I mean, I've interviewed him. I've had moments with him off camera. And I've interviewed him also prior to games. And I'll share it as well. He was kind enough when my father passed away in 2019, and I talked about it on the air. He sent me a note.
Awesome.
So that's all I know of him personally. You know him better. What would it take for him to actually endeavor that thought process, though? When would he go through that, do you think?
And I can't speak for him. In my estimation, he wouldn't, because the one thing he always stressed to me is that he'll never run from coaching. This team still needs to be coached. This team still needs to be led. And the way I internalize that or comprehend that when he says that he won't run from coaching, he knows people do sometimes, is that he would feel like he's running from the adversity that he's possibly had a hand in creating. Right? It's his decision-making on the players, his decision-making on the coaches, his decision-making on what he feels like is the best way to approach winning. And so when you've had a hand in all of those things and those things aren't working, to leave and say maybe somebody else will be better, or maybe there's a better place to me, would feel like I'm running from the adversity that I've created myself, that I need to help this team and these people find a solution from, which is a fair way to look at it and an honorable way to look at it. But people who truly know football know that it's not always a fair and honorable occupation.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.